Hey, went to a bookstore earlier, half price books. I'm thinking of selling some I have and taking a loss, but maybe someone else will buy them for really cheap. Anyway, I got a little windfall on Friday, so I decided to treat myself to something, and I didn't know what I was going to find, so I went to the bookstore because so many others seem to have great finds when they go looking. And this one caught my attention right away. $30, so well, $30, I'll get it. So we're looking at the it's a text, well, it's World Publishing, King James version, the Hebrew Greek Key Study Bible. I think someone else covered one of these recently too. And it is by AMG. It's maybe before they call it the, Hebrew Greek Keyword Study Bible. It was this by AMG. Sorry if it's too bright. I just measured it. I mean, you can see the text block is not as big as the cover goes over a little bit. But going by the cover, it's 9 3/8, a little under 9.5, by right about 6.5. And you know what? I'll call it 1.5 inches thick. I should have measured it. So as I pointed out, and it's got these little these do protrude, or we'll just say they stick out a little bit. It's late, so it's a little beat up. I got it for $30. I like this leather, but it's a little beat up. Right away, you see this gold decorative here. This one is from 1992. I had for a while I had a New American Standard, the AMG Hebrew Greek Keyword Study Bible, and I did gift it away. It was very nice. I mean, technically nicer because it was new and a genuine leather. But this one I think is synthetically lined. I'm pretty sure it is. But you get these nice little foldovers. It's holding together well. There's a little bit of, they're clean. The corners are clean. And this is a very nice leather. It is hand finished Morocco, and there's some number meaning something. You got a little bit of pleating there, a little bit, but so actually I kind of wiped it up very carefully earlier. There was a couple little scuffs on it, so there it is. It's got some pliability, not something you roll up, but so the new ones. Well, I had the New American Standard AMG, Keyword Study Bible, Hebrew Greek, but this one is more of a medium size, as I told you. The new ones are rather big. I mean, they're nice because I think they have a little bit bigger font, but not by much if they do. And they have wide margins, and there's maybe more stuff in them. But I didn't have it in a King James. Again, I've never had a World. I mean, it's the text block because already AMG, but I've never had that. And I do appreciate these older. So 1993. Oh, for the price I got it, there's the head and tail band. Well, here's the tail, the bottom. There it is. Of course, the front, I see this on so many Bibles. The front wants to pull away. I want to say this is a sewn binding. I don't know what kind of sewing, because I think I want it to be. But I really, for a while, was convinced this was glued. I'm no expert. But some of the videos I watch and telltale signs, you can kind of pick up the signatures. Sometimes they're very defined. This didn't, and I was paging through it going, you know what, this is kind of a stiff block. I think it's glued, but I'm like, hey, I can't imagine why it'd be glued. And I saw something in the beginning. I don't want to get too close. We'll get to the text in a minute, but that looked like it could be some stitching in there. And the thing is, when I lifted it up from the bottom, very small signatures. There are signatures. But I'm not going to say I'm an expert, and I know that now means it's signatures that are sewn together. But so I'm not really sure. I'm just, going to be careful with it anyway. So anyway, This is not a red letter, it's a brown letter. So I think I'm right to say 1992. I mean, that's not the copyright, that's up there. AMG, a personal word from the editor. And I was reading through this because when you have kind of a lot going on in a study Bible, this is very thin paper, but it's soft. So they have this little outline. I liked reading through this earlier to tell you, exactly what the, inferior, superior numbers in front or back, something's underlined, or if it has a key next to it, key identifier. Anyway, these are good to go through. Soft, very thin and soft paper, but I like it. You get the contents. You get a lot in the back. And you get this is a big introduction. Everything starts on its own page. You get an introduction, and you get the keynotes at the bottom. If there's a key up here, you find it down here. And then you get the center column reference. This looks, it's an AMG. I had it in the NASB, but and this is King James. 2-column verse by verse. So there it is. This is a very nice font. Like I said, it reminds me a lot of the New American Standard print. And I want to say it's actually about probably the same size. Just the other one has, wider margins. Of course, this being the King James. So that's pretty much what you get. The gold has seen better days. I mean, the ends are always better, but the gold has been a little worn down. But I didn't like that the Bookstore. This is a leather, and it's not it's a pretty good leather, and they just sat it up. I don't know. I kind of thought it was doing something to the spine down here, and it kind of. Hopefully, I can make it better now. But actually, it was kind of bent earlier. Come to think of it, and I'm trying to unbend it now. I think that'll. Who knows? See, it looks like there's signatures, doesn't there? It's kind of. You get this little tooled line around. Take a closer look. So, I don't think it was heavily used. It was definitely used, but not heavily. I have not seen one underlining. I have not seen anything like that. So, but again, it's a more manageable size. You get the subject heading as you go. There's Matthew. Here. And you get little, see notes somewhere else. You get alternate readings, translation. Got some really interesting stuff in the back. I'll get to that. Like I said, there's some page use here. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to get to the front of Matthew. There we go. But, well, it's my first little find at a used bookstore, And I was watching, there we go, Matthew. There we go. Yeah, not anything down here, I suppose. So, this red letter, how do I describe it? It actually, I'm not sure how it looks, but when I'm looking at it in person, let me see if I can get like here's red and black. Let me try to get it to focus. See, I'm not great with colors, but I'm gonna call this brown, or a dark burgundy, or more of a brown burgundy. It's very readable. I don't know. I don't remember the red letter now. I think the red was more traditional red, and the newer NASB I had. So I like this. We'll call it red letter. I mean, it is red letter, but it's brown to me. So anyway, so I like the text block. It's a readable. It's dark enough. Bold enough. Probably, I want to say 9-point font. Maybe 8.5. Maybe a dark 8.5. I don't know. Let me go to the back. But there is a lot. You get they call it the lexical aids to the Old Testament and the New Testament. And you can look up the words and the definitions. All right, here we are. Bible study helps. grammatical codes, grammatical notations, guide to transliteration. And there's the lexical aids to the Old and New Testament. You get a whole concordance. You get a scripture index to the footnotes and introductions in Strong's dictionaries. So you get, as usual, you get a lot in these. Now there's one thing I noticed. I mean, looking up the Strong's words is fine, but there's something in back. You get the concordance, you know. All right. So I wanted to go to the back after all the Strong's numbers. A concise dictionary of the words in the Hebrew Bible with their renderings in the Authorized English Version. And what this is, and there's one for the New Testament too. For one, this is very dark, but this is like a 4-point font. I mean, I can read it through here because the phone magnifies it. This is tiny. I wish it wasn't because it looks like it's very nice. You get a lot of Hebrew and Greek in here. I don't remember this in the NASB, but then again, I wasn't in it as much as I should have been. But there is some very tiny writing. So as I get to the back of this Hebrew and Chaldee dictionary with this tiny, tiny font, see if I can do this here. Yeah, which is great. I mean, I like having it. Then you have this places where the Hebrew and the English Bibles differ in the division of chapters and verses. So they give you this, again, very small, very grayed out. Then you go into the same thing for the Greek. Authorized English Version. And they give you this plan of the book at the top of each one. Wish I could read it. Anyway, alphabetical order or something. I don't know. But then you get some maps at the back too. But, and there it is. Now it starts. You get abbreviations employed. There, just tiny. I mean, I wish this was bigger. I like having this Greek. I mean, I can always get a magnifying glass or something. And the rest of it's got fine print, but these sections in back are tiny. Just thought I'd do this. After Revelation, it ends there, right? And before you get to the maps, because the maps I'll get to in a second, are right there. You get that blank paper. This is all the Strong's words, all the helps is right there, what I was talking about earlier. So it's a chunk. I'm surprised this isn't much thicker. So anyway, and you get some maps. There's like this one, very green, but it does kind of run into here. But they're there. No gloss on these. These are a flat. I mean, the light makes it might look like it, but there's the last one. Couple pages, 1 and 2. Then you get this vinyl, just like the front. There's the back. So I'm happy I got it for $30. Like I said, I just like I said, gifted one away of the NASB. And it was nice, it just was so much going on. But then when I saw this, and part of it is just because I kind of wanted to have it for $30, and it's a World, AMG, you know, it's in the King James, it's a more manageable size. So, you know, I get some scuffs. Not too bad, though. You know, there we go. That shows it a little better, but if I hold it, you know, the spine, something's going on. It's not damaged too bad, but, you know, it's used. You know. So anyway, yeah, reviews are fun. I was going to mention at the beginning that when I was there, I was looking at some other stuff that for example, there's sometimes going to a store like a used bookstore can be helpful, because like what happened to me, I went there and there was something I've kind of had in and out of my wish list, and I thought about getting it, was the MEV Fire Bible. It's in that brown. People that get Bibles a lot would know what I'm talking about. That brown imitation leather with the flame on it. But they had one there in the hardback. Well, so I thought, well, let me look at it and see the text block. And I didn't. What I'm going to comment on was just the red letter. The red letter in that MEV Fire Bible. I had never seen a red letter like that. It was so. It was like a reddish orange with some neon. I don't know what they put in that chemical, but if anyone's had one and wants to comment, I've seen reviews, but no one really, I don't remember pointing that out. But this one was a hardback red letter, and it was so vibrant. And anyone who doesn't like red letter probably wouldn't have liked that one. But anyway, it was just nice to go there and hold it and see it. So anyway, I actually I was watching a review a couple days ago or a day ago, and it actually was helpful because I decided not to get something. It was a good review by Brian, but I've been watching that ESV Crossway, large print, wide margin. It took out the references. It has bolded larger verse numbers for obviously referencing them, and 11-point font. But I'm glad I saw the video because Christian Book wasn't ready to put the pictures up yet. They keep delaying the. I've been watching it for a couple of months or so, and so I couldn't really see. But the margins didn't look that great. And I have a wide margin ESV, and I'm like, well, I'm glad I got to see that. I mean, I suppose I would have eventually seen the pictures. It was a great review, but made me realize, my verse by verse is, with the little margin. I just remember thinking it wasn't, just so sometimes these reviews can be helpful. Now, of course, this is a review. I rarely do these on one that, something like this, you got to go to a bookstore or eBay or Amazon, probably eBay to try to find it. But this is nice. It's a nice change, nice resource to have, and the fact that it's a little older, 1992, so I won't keep rambling on. So, another one for my collection. I mean, to use, of course, but I just call it my collection. So, like I said, a little roughed up, but it's still nice. So, it's staying out on the table. No margin area, as you can see. I mean, the gutter's fine. I can read it. It just, So, anyway, thanks for watching.